This week on Luckyfish, we make our best 24-hour run yet, sail straight into a storm, discover a stowaway on board, and arrive in the beautiful Bahamas.
In Dominican Republic, and I've just noticed some really cloudy blue water over there. What is that?
Where? Where?
Right over there. You see it?
Yeah, now I see it. Oh, it's long line.
Yeah, it must be. What do you think it is? It is a long line.
There must be two different water meeting.
Smells like seaweed. Yeah. It could be coral spawn. You see that on the Great Barrier Reef. That time of the year, the corals seem to heat everything up and the sea to mix and make new baby corals. Looks a little bit like that. Well, this is a bit of a shame. We've got a stowaway on board. Just discovered him 2 days out from Grenada, and we're 3 days out from Georgetown, so it's going to be a little while before he sees some land. He's looking a bit sorry for himself. Anyway, I'll give him some water and see if he drinks. I've got no idea what he eats, whether he's an insect eater or a meat eater or whether he doesn't care. So we'll give him some water to start with. Go on, mate, have a drink. Won't bite you. We're just hand steering for the moment whilst we get things back to normal after a squall came through about 3 or 4 in the morning. Lasted about an hour, brought quite a bit of wind and a lot of rain, heavy torrential rain. So we're all soaking wet. Zaya's sleeping with Romeo. We didn't get a lot of warning, unfortunately this was the first squall, so we hadn't been looking on the radar for them, but we will from now on. It was a pretty big blob. Doesn't seem to be another one for 36 miles anywhere in any direction, so it was a bit unfortunate we sailed right through it. So the foresail's down at the moment, but we're still doing 8 or 9 knots, just under one reef main and the full jib, hand steering. To cap all that off, we had a ship coming directly towards us in the middle of all that. Well, sometimes he was directly towards us and sometimes not, because the boat was going around in circles at one stage. The wind was literally going around in circles. So the self-steering was doing its best, but not very well. Anyway, hopefully there's some brighter weather behind this. Run a rainstorm at the moment. Doing pretty well. It's about 50-50 whether it's going to hit us coming this way, but we must be doing 8 or 9 knots, so that storm needs to be moving to catch us. There's bound to be more. We're a little bit better prepared this time. We've got all our storm enclosure up around the pod. Our wet weather gear's out. I didn't think we'd be seeing that again, but we've got the wet weather gear out. We've just moved the sails from forward of the stays, the gaff, foresail and main, made them aft of the stays, just adjusted the halyard. And the trim of the sail worked out quite well. So we're actually back on course now, 3:32, and travelling like a bat out of hell. Shit! Oh, poor baby. Just got wet. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. Not happy. Well, third day and things are looking up for Lizard. Zaya gave him a piece of rope so he could feel like he was at home. He used to live on the lashings under the hull when we were on the hard stand, and he's taken to the rope. He looks quite happy on that. We're just going to check his food. It's hard to tell. I mean, a lizard wouldn't eat much, but perhaps he's had some sustenance out of some noodles and a bit of meat and a bit of bread, and that's about all we can do for him. Anyway, he drinks all his water, which is good. There's water in there. There we go. Oh, maybe he'll pull through. Let's hope so. All right.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm studying the charts and discovering how little I know about the next stages of our navigation. So I'm busy poring over the Waterways Guide to the Bahamas and some NV Explorer charts, or NV charts of Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. So yeah, just trying to cram some information so we can go through the pass tomorrow without any difficulty, and then navigate our way through a bunch of islands before we make landfall at Georgetown on Great Exuma Island. That's the plan. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning on the third day, and we're just about 45 miles off of Puerto Rico, hoping to sight the land at dawn and make our passage through Mona Passage during daylight hours. There's some electrical storms around. Looks like they're closing in on us as they did yesterday morning, so I'm all prepared to go out. If I see the wind speed picking up or rain coming in, I'll go and drop the foresail and just leave our main up with 2 reefs in it and our full jib. That rig's proved quite well balanced and quite manageable in the stronger stuff. Not expecting anything more than 25 knots or so. It seems to be what the wind gets up to in these squalls at the moment. In fact, all night it's been perfect sailing. We've had about 17 to 21 knots consistent wind on the apparent wind on the beam. So we've been reaching in beam seas. The boat's been doing 8 to 9 knots. We've made up some lost time from the storms yesterday, so we'll see how we go. It's yeah, all in all been a really pleasant night. Zaya's off watch at the moment having a sleep. Apart from these electrical storms, all is well. Talk to you soon. Well, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and don't mind the time on the chart plotter, it's 2 hours behind, but we've pretty much achieved what we set out to do. What was it, 2 days and 18 hours ago, 480 miles. It's been pretty quick. I think we've done about 190 odd miles in the last 24 hours, but the wind's been very favourable, the seas have been pretty good, the boat's felt really good, just powering along like a truck. So we've arrived off of Puerto Rico at dawn on Monday the 1st of May. We've got about a 50-mile passage between Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, and then we'll be back out into the North Atlantic and leaving the Caribbean Sea behind, sadly. So we'll see what the North Atlantic has in store for us. It's the fourth night, about 3:30 in the morning. Old Klutz here managed to let the gaff halyard go, or a snap shackle let go, or probably more likely my fault. So it went up the mast thinking I was hoisting the gaff and I was only hoisting the snap shackle. Poor Zaya had to pay the penalty for my error, and she went up the mast and recovered the snap shackle, which is great. So we've got the foresail back up again now, ahead of the stays. We're running dead flat off, about 25 knots, and we've got a full jib goose winged out. Boat's doing 7 to 9 knots, and we're about to go into some electrical storms. So generally these things don't have a lot of wind with them, not much more than 25 knots, but we might drop a sail if it starts picking up, just as a precaution, till we see what it's like. But this trip so far has been pretty active. We've been pretty busy the whole time, apart from the first day. Been a lot of sail changes and weather changes in wind direction. Yeah, semi-monsoonal weather, definitely got a wet season feel about it, so we must be coming into the monsoon here. Although the cloud patterns, they don't look cyclonic to me or hurricane-like, they look more like just tropical thunderstorm type activity, which is comforting. We're a month early for the season anyway, and it would be unlikely to get anything even in the first month, so yeah, those concerns are put to the back of our minds. We've got Dominican Republic off our port side at the moment, Cabo Cabron. We're about 30 miles off. There's a string of reefs to the right of us, another 30 miles out, so we've picked a channel, 3 waypoints along this channel to take us through the next 24 hours or so, which should put us off Turks and Caicos sometime tomorrow night, but I'll read up a bit more on it tomorrow and finalise the plans. How are you feeling, Zaya? You're feeling mixed up. You think it's because you went up the mast?
That didn't help. I looked down from top of the mast.
You looked down from top of the mast, yeah.
Because you told me it will be quite a view, so I thought maybe nice view. So. It's scary, so I didn't look anymore. I just look at the mast.
Yeah, well, you did well. Thank goodness we got that gaff halyard back. What did it seem like when you looked down? Did it make you feel sick, or did you?
Yeah, sick and scary.
Sick and scary.
Yeah. Both look so small. Looked so small, but.
Really?
So
Small,
because then I know if I look anymore and think anymore of it, I will sick and throw up on top of it. So I stopped looking, stopped thinking as well.
Very good. Oh, you look pretty relaxed there now. All right, let's sign off and see what the storm brings.
We're drying things out after thunderstorm this morning.
Well, that was a bit of an adventure this morning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Had us testing our resolve. That electrical storm turned out to be quite a wide band of thunder activity. We had lightning all around us, and fork and sheet lightning, and thunder cracks right overhead. About 3 or 4 in the morning. Went on for about 2 hours as we sailed right through this. We just kept the jib up. It flogged a bit, but a little bit of damage on the tack at the jib. But nothing too serious. But boy, there's been a lot of sail changes. moving the halyards, the gaff halyards forward and back behind the stays. Probably 5 sail changes this morning and it's barely 8 o'clock. So I think we're going to have a big sleep today. It's dawn on the 5th day and we had a great night sailing last night, probably 10 to 15 knots southeasterly, wing and wing, and really pleasant sailing conditions. Yesterday during the daytime also great sailing, 15 to 20 knots southeast, again pretty much dead downwind, good speeds. A few rollers yesterday, but last night the seas turned into this, beautiful flat conditions, and we feel really relaxed now after what was a pretty hectic couple of days with those thunderstorms, but we paid the price and got this beautiful weather as a result. Now we're heading towards the Turks and Caicos. We're just going to pass those to the west by a few miles, just a couple of miles, to give the reef a bit of safety. Just the jib hitting the camera, and then from the Turks and Caicos we will cross the Turks and Caicos Passage, pass to the west of Mayaguana Island, thread our way through a number of smaller islands, woods, acklands, keeping a close eye on the chart plotter through that, and then on to our final destination, which is Long Island, where we will clear into the Bahamas.
What's for lunch today?
Well, we just started day 6 and it's about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going past the Turks and Caicos and finally we've got our appetites back. After, what, 5 or 6 days, we've just been snacking up till now on, what, chips, chocolate, nuts, the odd cheese and chutney sandwich, the odd peanut butter and jam sandwich, but apart from a fried rice you did the other day, which went down real well, we haven't had a hot meal, so we're getting hungry and digging into the supplies, of which there are many. So we haven't caught any fish, we haven't been trying to catch fish, we've really been focused on getting the boat ready and getting moving rather than getting into the mode of cruising and catching fish.
Your lady is not here.
Ah, well that's true. Yeah, we miss Toya. She's it's kind of weird cruising without her. She's back in Mongolia dealing with some other personal affairs, hoping that she's going to rejoin the boat soon. We'll see. But she wants to come back. She's pretty jealous of some of the photos you've been posting. So anyway, yeah, it's not quite the same without her, but nevertheless we're having a ball, and probably shouldn't say that. We're having a really tough time. So what are we eating today? We got fresh garlic, carrots, peas. We've got our beef strips slowly marinating. We're going to have some stir-fry cabbage, capsicum, onion, garlic. Wow, what more do you want? We probably won't be able to eat it all. I think our stomachs are the size of walnuts now. But with a view like that, who cares? It's nice to fold down the shade screen on the galley window when we're on passage. Not looking for any privacy in a dock, and we're not looking for any shade. It's just good to have the view. Look at that. Beautiful North Atlantic Sea in Caribbean weather. Doesn't get any better. Sparkling blue water, nice channel, and lots of islands ahead of us. Very exciting. So you're getting ready for the Bahamas?
Yeah.
Is this what you're expecting to be, is this your normal attire for the Bahamas, is it?
Yeah, I hope so.
Dreaming. It's nice to see the sun, that's for sure. Stir fry, our first decent meal for 5-6 days. Can't wait. You and your potato, I know you love it, don't you?
I know, I love it. You know.
So out of that meal, is it just the potato that you want, or?
No, the meat, everything. Greens.
How's the meat? How's the satay? Yeah.
How's that?
Beautiful. Everything tastes good at sea when you're hungry. This is really good though. That satay is fantastic. Sauce.
We used stir fry tongue sauce.
Tongue sauce, what is it? Garlic, ginger and soy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really yum. I'm in a meat mood, you're in a potato mood.
Please like and subscribe and join us next week for our first Bahamas experience.
We're going to the bar or the beach?
Bang.